Joining us now as we continue preparations for BYU players headed to the NFL draft and hopefully NFL teams, we welcome in James Empey, outstanding BYU center, who is gearing up for what I'm assuming is going to be a very, very fun and stressful time. James, how are you feeling right now as the draft bears down?
Feeling good, feeling better every day. It gets closer. It's been a lot of hard work these last few months, and it just feels like it's getting closer and closer, and all the things that are in the air are about to settle, and we're going to figure things out. So I'm excited.
What are the emotions you're going through as you prepare for this? Because it's certainly exciting, but I imagine it's also nerve-wracking, not kind of knowing what's going to happen or where you're going.
Yeah, I mean, you talk to any of the guys, and it's just kind of like you don't really know what's going to happen, so you're preparing yourself to be ready for anything. And so, yeah, it's super exciting, but also you're just kind of antsy, ready to go, ready to figure out what you're going to do. And so it's been a really fun process. Me and my wife have had, really fun experiences doing everything, and just excited to keep going and see what happens.
What is your day-to-day like right now with just a few days, relatively speaking, before you figure out where you're actually headed?
Yeah, so really all you can do right now is keep working out and keep working hard and trying to get better. So a lot of working out, a lot of training, a little bit of film watching and trying to, work out the brain as well in terms of football things, and just trying to get myself as ready as I can for this next month.
What kind of feedback did you get from BYU Pro Day?
Good feedback. I felt like, and especially just with my personal feelings of how I did, like I felt really good about everything. It was nice to be back going full speed, doing everything. And, I felt really good about my performance in terms of, just my personal best and how good I did. And yeah, got solid feedback. I feel like I checked the boxes I need to check and answered some of the questions that I had, and, just hoping that, people see that, people see my film, people see everything, and give me a chance.
James Empey with us on BYU Sports Nation. James, what would you say is the number one area you have improved upon the most since you last played at BYU to where you are now preparing for the NFL?
Well, I mean, this is the most obvious one is when I last played for BYU, I had a broken foot. So yeah. Being able to get that healthy took, I was on a scooter for a little bit, got the foot completely healed, and back to normal and just back to being healthy and 100%. So that's probably the biggest improvement and the most obvious one from last time I was on the field.
Do you feel like being drafted is a possibility in spite of the injury?
I'm ready for anything. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know really what, everybody's plans are. There's really no way to know, but I'm ready for anything, man. If somehow I'm drafted, and I'll be super excited and I'll be ready to go. If I'm a free agent, I'm going to take, the same mentality that I would, otherwise, and just work my butt off and do what I need to do to make a team. So I'm just so excited for the opportunity and the journey and everything that's going on right now.
We encounter this dynamic every year, often with BYU players of, hey, would you rather be drafted in the late rounds or kind of have your say about where you go and fit into a camp depending on what a specific team needs? So on that spectrum of, hey, it'd be cool to be drafted compared to, I want to have some options, where do you stand? What do you feel like is going to be best suited for you between those two options?
I honestly think, a team that picks you is going to be a good spot to be because they believe in you and they want you. And, a team that, you have an opportunity to go to in free agency is going to be good because they want you and, there's going to be an opportunity there. So I think, either way, an opportunity is an opportunity, and a foot in the door is all that matters. And either way, you're going to have to work your butt off. So I choose to be on the side of, hey, I'll take whatever comes, come what may.
Come what may. It's one of my favorite songs from the Moulin Rouge soundtrack. It's an amazing one with Ewan McGregor. Okay, in terms of what teams have shown the most interest, who's reached out? Who's talked to you? Who have you worked out for?
Yeah, multiple teams have shown serious interest, and the process goes, you kind of are by your phone and ready to take a call from anybody. And so, my agents have kind of a whatever list that is of everybody that's contacted, but multiple teams have shown interest, and it's exciting.
We spoke recently with your good friend Brady Christensen and had him give you some advice. And basically he said, look, James just needs to be himself. He just needs to try and enjoy this process. In offline conversations that you've had with Brady and others, what's the best bit of advice you've received from your teammates that have gone through this process recently?
Yeah, honestly, it's probably exactly what Brady said. He's just like, man, this process is going to be long and a little stressful. And, the most important thing you can do is work your butt off and have a good time and enjoy the moment. And me and my wife, we've really tried to implement that. Is just like, hey, let's enjoy wherever we're at any given moment and just keep working as hard as we can, but enjoy the process. Because in the end, a lot of it's out of your hands. And you only can control what you can control. And so that advice that Brady had is probably the best bit of advice.
What are some of the attributes and strengths you have that you feel will be most beneficial and most admirable from teams that want to assign you?
Well, I mean, I have a lot of experience. I played these last, 4 seasons. I've played in a lot of games, and I really like the game of football. I really love the game of football. I think I like learning about it. I like learning about all the intricate things. I take pride in knowing what to do and how to do it. And so, I think that is a strength when you look at me and my game and what I do.
How many bad snaps do you feel like you had in your entire career?
Honestly, probably a bunch, man. I mean, football is playing and making mistakes and figuring out how to get better as a team, and so probably a whole lot more than I want to count.
I don't remember too many. Yeah, that's why I bring it up.
We don't remember very many, so maybe a bunch to you is like 3.
Oh, I got you.
Like
you're talking about actual bad snaps, not like bad plays. I got you.
No. Just like bad snaps.
So snap was a bad snap.
Yeah, probably just a few, 1 or 2, maybe.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's legit.
Like, I don't remember bad snaps from you, which is you forget things that are awesome. You know what I mean? The consistency of that was amazing. Yeah.
James Empey is with us on BYU Sports Nation. Did you grow up rooting for a specific NFL team? And if so, which team was that? And are you still interested in said team?
Yeah. So growing up, we had a couple teams. I mean, my dad's always liked the 49ers. I've always liked the Broncos. Me and my cousins, we always liked the Broncos because they were the closest team. Now the Raiders are the closest team. So now I'm a little torn because I'm a big home team guy. You got to cheer for the closest, but we don't have a team. So if there was a Utah team, I'd say, whatever that was. So hopefully we get a team sometime I don't know if we ever will, but that'd be cool if we did. But
that would be sweet. I think we're the least likely demographic to ever get an NFL team. but that would be awesome, right? It'd be amazing. Okay, in the next segment, we're going to discuss the best slow player in BYU history because Albert Pujols scored from first to home last night, and he was so slow. Who's the best slow player in BYU history?
Man, I don't know. I can't think of a lot of slow guys. I mean, there's probably a good amount of slow guys out there. I can't.
Which of your teammates do you want to throw under the bus, James?
Which teammate?
Which teammate do you want to throw under the bus right now?
How about Louis Lapuaho when he caught that pass in 2016 and was lumbering down the sideline at Utah?
Against Utah.
Hey, yeah, he was moving. I'm gonna throw Clark under the bus. Because I just want to talk trash to him, and I'm faster than him. So.
Clark Barrington, the best slow player.
The best slow player. Well, let's ask you about that as well. We're really excited about this offensive line this year because we think Blake Freeland's an NFL guy. Obviously, we hope Kingsley Suamataia is an NFL guy. Clark Barrington feels like an NFL guy. There may be others.
Harris
right?
LaChance is also involved.
Like loaded. What should we expect from this group? Should they be really stinking good?
Yeah, I think they're going to be pretty good. And I mess with Clark. I just want to talk. I want him to hear this show and be like, dang it, James, what are you talking about? So I just want to talk to him. He's awesome, man. He's a great player. I think he's going to be a great leader on the line this year. And just, I mean, even the last few years, he's been a lot of the glue that keeps it going. He brings a physical edge to everything. And, he's really good player. And then, you got Blake, who has tons of experience. You got Harris, you got Connor, you got Joe, you got Kingsley who's coming in, you got Clarky, or Campbell, sorry, Clark's little brother Campbell. You got all the guys that have experience in game time and are tough, man. I'm excited for them.
Yeah, those are like 9 names that can all play. And I'm glad you brought up Campbell, Barrington.
You got Braden Kime.
Yes.
Yep.
And your boy Connor, who's going to be, we think, the primary center. And he filled in, and he did a fantastic job for you. So, I mean, James, how comparable is this offensive line to the one you played on in 2020 that won 11 games?
I think they're pretty good. They probably have just as much experience, if not more. They definitely have more like depth experience. Like everybody on that line's played in games and has started games, and so they got tons of experience, and they got a high bar to cover because we've had pretty good O-lines the last 2 years, especially in 2020. I watched Brady's segment the other day, and he was talking about the difference between that O-line that we played on in 2020 and other O-lines. Is just like it's exactly what he said. We had been playing together so long that we knew exactly what was going through each other's heads and what was going to happen, and we could work really well together. And I just think the more experience that these guys get and the more chance they get to play together, the better they're going to be. I was at a few of the spring ball practices, and I was happy with what I saw, man. I love seeing those guys compete.
Hey, that matters. That's a weighted compliment. James Empey with us on BYU Sports Nation. We obviously need to give you some BYU Sports Nation karma for the draft process because we're 8 days away, man. It's going to be wild, but we know you're going to get an invite and have an opportunity somewhere, and we cannot wait to watch that develop.
Thanks for the karma, guys.
You got it. James Empey, always a class act on BYU Sports Nation.
Good to see you, James.